Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Today I will show you 5 common problems which you can fix from post-production if you're editing a non-professional documentary. I will not go through the process of editing because you're probably not here for that. But let me show you what I did to fix some camera problems that happened because they had a handheld camera for some reason or another. Not my choice, but this is how some scenes look like.
I don't know. Portraits and stuff like that.
I made a green marker over here so I can see like where from the shots are usable. Because up until this point it's been all over the place. The camera has been like shaking and searching for the person. Problem is, this is the first shot of these people. I don't have anything before that and I don't have any B-roll that would show the people. Well, I do, because sometimes this girl was really looking for stuff with her camera. I don't know why, but in this case it saved us. For example, over here, she started shooting like a glass and his environment stuff, which could also solve the purpose of a B-roll shot, if that makes sense enough. So I found one shot and then I had to zoom it in. If some shots are bad, just zoom them in. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If it's a documentary, it's not like a 6K film. It's going to be on the internet, it's not going to be in cinemas. So all the way until the green marker, I had to cover it with something. My first try was to cover it with the hand which you just seen, but that made them look like alcoholics, so we had to change it up. We also found some B-roll of them showing us their old photos of their family, and apparently we could use them, so we threw that in. And now the shot looks like this.
Ja som sa tu narodil, no, a otec asi sa tiež tu. No v 5. roku to akože myslím, že bolo stávané. 1905.
How can you fix bad handheld camera though? Well, in documentaries, it's not really the best type of camera, but if you had nothing else to work with, then I guess that's what you have. If you can't fix it, own it. Really, the really bad parts, you can cover them with B-roll, and all the cuts you can cover with B-roll, but let the camera wonder if these were the shots they were looking for. Just keep in mind that if everything is moving and the camera is like really lively, you have to make everything else subtle. For example, look at this text. Look at how it slowly came in. It's not moving, it's just like staying there so you can read it calmly, because everything else is just moving all around the place. Okay, so that's the kind of movement that you cannot fix. What you can do is cover it with B-roll, even though sometimes it doesn't really look good. I also used the shot of another person talking, even though this person wasn't even really in that shot. It's like from a completely different scene, but we just had to fix it. So now it looks like this.
To sa volalo vždycky Karlovský potok, alebo Čierny, lebo my to voláme aj Čierny potok.
Tak by sme tomu hovorili, že Malá Vydrica.
Vydrica je tam ďalšia dolina.
Zoologická záhrada, tak
to je Vydrica.
A tuto sa tomu hovorili, že Malá Vydrica.
Fair enough. So another way you can fix a shaky camera or wandering camera is J-cuts and L-cuts. So if you look at these shots over here, they're overlaying each other, and I'm using B-roll to manage them. Like for example, in this section of the dialogue, she like wanders with the camera over to the place he's talking about. He's talking about this grassy field where once there was the break, and you can see that he is talking about the new sentence, but we are still seeing the shot from the wandering part. And that's how we create something called the J-cut, like the audio is on the left side, even though it's already finished. Here's how it sounds.
To je 3 metre priemer, čo je slušné. Ani v tom liščom údolí už ten potok ani nie je vidno, že tam je ten prítok pri tých schodoch.
Problem solved, right? So what can you do if you don't have enough B-roll? This happens a lot, and it's not really anyone's fault. It's just sometimes the people talk way too long and you just forget to capture everything.
You never stop talking! Cough.
I mean, look at this. This is the whole part where people talk, and this is how much B-roll we have. This, well, plus this, which are drone shots, but they're only from certain locations, and we are missing so much. And they're talking about something completely different. So drone shots are always nice because they provide something like a different view on the same problem, but they just can't go everywhere. So one of the options you have is if you have a person walking in the room or out of the room, or just walking around the location where you have been, just take some parts where he doesn't talk and use them as covering footage for places where the camera is either too shaky or you just have to cover it. Or if you don't have enough B-roll, like right here, he's already talking, but I'm still using the B-roll of him walking around because the camera was not really usable back then.
Kedy si filmovali rybe v Frednej like
Not the best, but it works. Another option you have is flipping the footage, either vertically or horizontally or any direction you want. Zooming in and make it a little different. For example, this shot was already flipped once, like this is the original shot and I flipped it, and it already fixes some of the problems, especially if the documentary is long. People don't tend to remember every single shot unless they're like really either important shots or too contrasty shots. So you should be fine by using the same B-roll twice or maybe even 3 times. Another thing you can do is coloring it a little differently. I didn't do this in any of the shots, but I did it on photos. Like one of the photos looked black and white and the other photo looked like a sepia, like an old sepia photo. And I flipped it and I changed the colors and you will never know it's the same photo. Well, you will if you watch it twice, but who watches a documentary twice? One more thing you can do is reversing the same clip. So I have a drone shot of a park coming in. I was talking about how we used to come to the park and then how it used to be green and stuff. And then a few minutes later, we come to the same shot, but it's backwards. And voila, we have 2 shots from 1 shot. Another great tip. For this particular documentary, we made animations, and they are also really handy if you have them in high resolution because you can also zoom them in, reverse them, make a static shot, and there are so many options with them. If you talk in your documentary about something that can have animation, animations are also a great way to keep the people engaged. When this documentary went through the feedback stage, people loved the old photos. And if you're making a documentary about something that either changed in the past or you're talking about the history, you're talking about people who used to live in some kind of era, photos, old photos, sketches are also a great way to keep people engaged.
We are so old.
But in this particular documentary where the camera is like way too lively and it would be really boring, what can you do with boring photos? Zoom them in, them out, make them come from one side to the other. Especially in DaVinci Resolve, there is this thing called dynamic zoom, which does it for you. Another tip, give it an original transition which you will keep for the rest of the documentary. Well, 1, it will make your life so much easier if you don't have to change transitions every single time. Number 2, showing the same transition every single time makes people used to the way you're showing photos and they will go, oh, another photo comes, great, I'll see another photo. Unless you want to change it, if it's traditional documentary you usually don't, so keep the transition simple. In this case, I used this burn effect transition and it makes the simple photos look like they're just being captured again. See how on one photo I zoom in and on the other photo I zoom out. If you have more photos next to each other, change it up a little. In, out, left, right, don't do in, or left, or something like that. You get the point. If some photos are horrible, you can try to fix them in the coloring tab. If photos don't look good in monochrome, you can try to get to the curves tab, grab red, and make them like sepia yellow. And if you didn't know this, you should subscribe. And if you like documentaries, check this video about these RGB lights right now. Right here. Because these can save you a lot of money. Or these ones. Okay. Okay, goodbye.